Primary and secondary schools are said to have resumed in Jigawa State, but many students and pupils are not in school because of the prevailing economic situation. School resumption means or implies that parents have to provide books, stationeries, uniforms, school fees, and so on, to say that they are ready for their children to resume school. What about running costs? Even the cost of going to school in terms of transportation and feeding, pocket money, and so on, attached to schooling. And the parents, they must feed to live, and they have been trying to make ends meet. Savings becomes very difficult under the prevailing situation. You want to know how Nigerians are coping. Even people on salary, including government workers, including federal government workers, because it used to make a lot of difference between federal government workers and other workers. But now, some states are paying even higher salary than the federal government. Federal government that is controlling the whole nation. The president will say, hold your governors responsible. But does that mean you give all the money to the state governments? And now, some states are paying higher salaries than the federal government. So, what example has President Bola Ahmed Tinubu set as Nigeria's president before asking people to hold their governors responsible? When some governors are paying higher salary than the federal government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, yes, even before the vacation, we know how some students are really struggling. And not only the students, even the workers, with particular reference to lecturers, whose pays are low. And the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities is getting 3% of the salary from each worker, from each lecturer on monthly basis. 3% of each ASU members' monthly salary monthly. The Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU. And even the non-academic workers that have been denied their allowances in 2013 till date, like the ASU members, things like that, coupled with the poor pay by the federal government. And all of that is possible because the government itself is corrupt and is looking for collusion with workers' unions leaders against the workers. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It's disheartening. And if you think about it too much, you can commit suicide. So, students have resumed, but some students are not yet in school because of the economic situation. Even as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is advertising, yes, check some newspapers and even the social media. Government is really bent on pushing the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, down the throat of Nigerians, rather than funding education for Nigerian children. Despite fuel subsidy gone, all other subsidies gone. So, Nigeria is in total mess. Nigeria's economy is in shambles. Even as the likes of Professor Charles Soludo, the former governor of Nigeria Central Bank, now the governor of Anambra State, praising President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his economic reform. Which economic reform? A whole professor of economics, Charles Soludo. So, if people like that are drumming support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it means that poor people, common people, should think hard. Go for your private or personal voters card, PVC. Get your voters card ready. Be part of the positive change that you expect, because it will not happen unless the right person is in power, unless the right political party is in power. But as for the so-called All Progressives Congress, don't expect anything. If anything will happen, it will have happened 2015 till date. So Tinubu is only bidding his time to fool Nigerians and get re-elected like Muhammadu Buhari. And I've kept warning Nigerians against second term for anybody, because you will think that he will build on this achievement of first term, but it's not. It's the time to do what he wants to do that he could not do because he was expecting re-election. But after getting re-elected, forget about it. Nothing more at stake. Not even the thought of future that he may want to seek a higher position, because he's sure of the moment, he's not sure of the future. So second term is not the best. Anybody who has spent fourth term, don't vote for that person, whether the constitution is amended to do away with first term or not. You Nigerians can do away with for second term. That is it. And let it start with President Tinubu and any other person seeking second term. Look for a better person to elect. Look at it now. Degeneration since 2015 till date. Meaning that despite all the promise to do better than the People's Democratic Party, the so-called All Progressive Congress has been retrogressing Nigeria worse than hitherto. So what has Tinubu as a person, not to talk of APC as a party, has to offer?